Hi everyone, it's Ren here. I hope you're doing well, guys. Welcome to my room. I hope you're starting this week feeling good. Um, just wanted to share some quick thoughts on this question of overcoming shyness. Being uncomfortable speaking either in public or expressing yourself in video, like being sort of out there. You know, I think that a lot of people, especially introverts, and that includes INFJs, find that a little hard. Um, and I was struck by this time, I got a comment. It wasn't a comment on YouTube, it was a comment on Twitter. Someone asked me on Twitter, how does it feel to be this kind of somewhat public figure online, just having my face everywhere? How does that feel? Is it difficult? Is it something that makes me uncomfortable? Like getting attention, is that something that makes me uncomfortable as well? How do I deal with it? How do I experience it? So what I would say is, certainly to an extent, a part of me is always kind of happy to get attention, because that suggests that what I'm talking about has an echo, and it is certainly a very gratifying thing to know that some of my words, some of the things I talk about, makes people think, has an impact on people, and it gives me a sense of, maybe not of responsibility, but being someone that people, even at my tiny little level, can count upon to release material and maybe say things that are not so complicated sometimes, but things that a lot of other people seem to feel, and to just have someone that is on camera and expresses these things seems to have an overall positive impact. And this is something that I find gratifying, almost life-giving, and it definitely is something that makes me go forward. I'm not sure if my channel would have been sustainable. It's been now over a year since I started making videos on this channel, and I've released over 200 videos, so that's a lot. I think if the interest and the gratification I was looking for was either purely intellectual or purely, let's say, egocentric, I'm not sure that this would have been sustainable at all. In fact, I know that it wouldn't have been. I think the key is really that I'm exchanging with people. People are reacting to what I'm saying. People are giving me ideas. Maybe I'm giving people some ideas. I've been having, and I continue to have, a lot of exchanges that are very heartening, very profound, motivating. And this is fundamentally, I think, what I look for, when I make videos. As regards how that plays into the whole trying to overcome shyness, being ill at ease with public speaking. As an introvert, I've never been super comfortable with public speaking, but what is true is I have managed over time to develop some kind of confidence that I have an interesting point of view to share, and that after all, if as an INFJ, I'm someone who does a lot of thinking, in my head, spend a lot of time thinking about things, observing things. Obviously, you draw conclusions, and when you listen to people talk in real life, in everyday life, you notice that sometimes what people explore is not necessarily, it doesn't go quite as far as the way you explore, because you're someone who is almost like geared towards pondering these things further. And so what you have to realize is that in many ways this means that some other people are going to be at an advantage in life for certain things, for a certain way of being. In some ways in society these days, not thinking too much, being in the present moment, things that are not the best qualities of the INFJ, these things can facilitate a lot of success in life, in society. And that's not a domain where INFJs are going to be the most comfortable, the most performative. We're not going to perform that well compared to some other types. Not just because we're introverts, but also because we're N types. But then the question becomes how to turn this, what looks like a flaw, what looks like a drawback, what looks like something we're lacking, how to turn it into a strength. Not just because it is a strength that would make us feel good about ourselves from an ego point of view, but also a strength that would make us fulfilled, happy. It's not so much just about feeling that we are subjected to existence and to the way that the world functions. It is also about knowing what to do with this experience that we do go through and turn it into something that can not only satisfy us, but maybe have us placed somewhere where we actually shine. And if you think about it, all the time that you're not enough in the present moment, and of course it's always good to try to be as much in the present moment as possible, but all these times that you're not in the present moment, all these times that you're thinking or overthinking, it's an option to just think that this is awful, that oh, I wish I weren't that type, it's so hard. And I'm not denigrating this. I know it's a fact, and trust me, I feel the same way a lot of the time. But think about all the interesting and positive and unique content that you can come up with during these moments when you are not directly engaging with society as efficiently as others. You are still doing something positive in the sense that you're producing some thought, you're producing some thinking. Now, you cannot translate directly into maybe an in-the-moment kind of action, but it's still there. It's still there. It adds up to your, it adds up to the library that you're building inside yourself of what you know, what you come up with, of the insights that you develop, and it sticks to you. I think in these contexts, it's important to think about how to then learn how to express these insights in such a way that they can benefit others and benefit yourself, because it makes you happy that you can express them, and it makes you happy even more when, having expressed them, you realize that they have an impact, because INFJs do, in their innermost core, want to have some kind of impact on others. This is the NIFE thing, it's something that they need, actually. It's a vital thing. It's not just like this accidental feature of their personality. And in this context, I think that, speaking, learning to find some kind of place where you're comfortable speaking, expressing your thoughts and sharing them can really be a good thing, because you're most likely going to underestimate yourself, and you're going to underestimate the extent to which you can say things and contribute things that other people haven't thought about, and things that can actually interest not just other INFJs or N types or whatever, but everyone. Because even the people who are more in the present moment and who might think that you're in your head and everything, there's a lot of clever people among them too who will be quite interested to hear what your insights are if you dare express them and find a place, find a moment, find somewhere where you're comfortable expressing them. Sometimes it does happen in real life, in certain situations. It's not always easy. It depends on your job. It depends on what you do. If you're a teacher, I think this can be very good structurally and systemically to help you hone that part of yourself and develop that kind of teacher vibe, teacher side of you, which I think a lot of INFJs, almost all INFJs have as their potential. But as far as I'm concerned, I have found over time that this YouTube channel is also good for me, because sure, it requires that I get used to just being in the public eye, getting, like a mean comment here and there. At the moment, the channel is getting a bit of attention. I think some algorithm has favored it. So it's getting more attention than it used to, which is great. Means that I get more mean comments here and there, but it's something I'm used to at this point, so I don't mind it so much. I kind of ignore them and focus on the positive, which is 95% really of what I get. And I've just found that this is therapeutic for me, not just because I get to express how I feel, but also I get to express all those things that I was building up whilst I looked like I was not doing the things that others were doing practically in the real world. I wasn't doing nothing. I wasn't just being deficient compared to those others. I was just producing a content that was just different and that was not as visible in the moment, but a content that built up inside my mind and that I'm now able to unpack in video. And I find that very gratifying. I find that very fulfilling. And I think that, YouTube doesn't have to be the way that, someone chooses to engage in that, but any sort of forum in which an INFJ can get to express these insights, these thoughts that they have come up with, is very good and very healthy. But let me know what you think, guys. I will leave you here and I will see you in the next video. Ciao.